Hey, I'm sitting here with Bailey White, co-founder of CrowdFiber. We're in the CrowdFiber headquarters in beautiful Rome, Georgia. Bailey, how are you?
Doing well.
Good, good. So I grew up just north of Rome in Dalton, Georgia. Where are you from originally?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee. All right. So let's talk about CrowdFiber. It's a big conversation in the market. I think a lot of people have heard of CrowdFiber, at least conceptually. Talk about CrowdFiber. What problem does CrowdFiber solve for our members?
So let's see, a couple of things. First off, behind you, this is fun. We should probably take a shot at this at some point. We have the CrowdFiber launch date memorialized, June 17th, 2013. That was here in Rome, Georgia. CrowdFiber started, there's a lot of pieces that fit into it. But it started really as a way to help people be able to think about what's really out there, right? Be able to manage member expectations and be able to build new broadband networks that are really exciting for people and really high capacity.
Okay. Was this a fever dream? Like you woke up in the middle of the night and thought, "I've got it"? Where did the idea come from?
Well, so it came through an amalgamation of different things. Greg and I had worked for many years in consulting. We both had a background in software in Silicon Valley, and he was in San Diego. And we had been working on rural broadband in particular for many years. We'd seen all the challenges around it. And we designed CrowdFiber as a way to help the burden and in the rural broadband space.
So you started with talking to internet providers. I mean, you just pick a small internet provider. Where did it start?
Yeah, so we actually worked with one that was pretty close here, and we had helped them get a lot of funding. And the president of the co-op sat down and said, "This is great. I've got all this money now. I've got my engineering plans going. I've got everything. I got one more issue." He reached into his pocket and he pulled out the stack of business cards, Post-it notes, and torn off pieces of paper. Each one of those had somebody who'd been like, "Hey,
sure,
hook me up."
Somebody in the grocery store or something like that.
Yeah. And he said, "Look, everywhere I go, somebody's asking for this. And I need some system to be able to manage this."
Yeah.
But it's different than a regular e-commerce system because you need a system that can say, "You know what? We don't have anything built yet.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even know where we're going to build yet.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to be responsive to our members. We want to listen to where they want us to go, and then try to figure out a strategy based on all of that."
Mm-hmm. So CrowdFiber is a software platform, fundamentally. So is it used by the member, or is it used by our members' customers or our members' members?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. So you ask, like, is CrowdFiber a business to business, product, or is it business to consumer?
Right.
We sell business to business, right? Okay. So we sell to our members who are operators, but they are using it to engage with their membership, right? Their consumers. So part of our product is a consumer product.
And do their customers see CrowdFiber? I mean, did they interact with CrowdFiber on their end, and what does that look like to them?
So our goal has always been to be about our member, not about ourselves.
Okay.
So everyone who subscribes to CrowdFiber generally rebrands it. It's a white label solution, so it's fully branded as theirs. And we'll help them with that. We've got design folks and everything like that to be able to help them. We'll work with outside agencies, but it's really about the customer. And CrowdFiber is just powering that, and it's enabling our member not to have to build all those things from scratch.
Okay. So when you're telling somebody for the first time about CrowdFiber and they say, what's the why do I need CrowdFiber? How do you answer that question? You're talking to a general manager.
Yeah. So there's so many different ways to approach a question like that, but usually we end up talking about kind of the three main things that CrowdFiber can do from a member-facing standpoint.
Okay.
So at the very beginning, when people are thinking about things, people use CrowdFiber all the time to be able to assess the need in the community.
Okay.
Right. So you can use it to be able to say, great, let's figure out the speeds in these particular census blocks and tracts. Let's see what members think about us getting into their business or not. Right. Let's actually see which providers who have told the FCC they serve this area. Let's see which of those really do, as confirmed by our participants. So CrowdFiber can do that kind of assessment and help people make better decisions about whether to enter the market or not, or whether to pursue upgrades or grants or funding. We've got a lot of customers that have done really well on the funding side by using CrowdFiber. And then, once it's a go, right, then CrowdFiber is that pre-sales tool, right? It can build all that demand. And then, once you're ready to light an area, CrowdFiber is your sales tool. And we've got this is crazy, but we've got one customer who now achieves 30% take rate in 24 hours when they launch a lit area in CrowdFiber.
So tell me about that. So I think I understand it conceptually,
Yeah.
but how do they increase their take rate?
So they have they've got a great approach. So they first have a call to action about joining the list. It's very light. It's like you and I going to a restaurant and getting a table buzzer.
Okay.
So here you've got your little buzzer. You're sitting there waiting. You couldn't order off the menu. Couldn't do anything yet, right? Because you're not seated.
Sure.
Same thing there. You can't order the services or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Once that area is lit, and now that area is available, that's just like you and I getting walked over to a table and having a seat.
That's part of
right?
the area.
Yeah. Now we get to look at the menu and talk to the waitress and get our order in. Sure. So that's exactly what the way they use CrowdFiber. And so now they notify those people, great, we've got a table for you. Come in and have a seat. Right? They go online, and within that 24-hour time window from opening up and seating those customers, so to speak, right? And just 24 hours after that, they will get up to 30% of the addresses in that area coming in, picking their products, signing an agreement, right? Agreeing to all the terms of services, and getting ready to schedule and install.
Wow. So when they're looking, they're online, they're looking at the menu, I guess. Mm-hmm. Who decides what goes on that menu? Does CrowdFiber make those decisions? Does the member make those decisions?
That's our member. So the operator is the one who does. We've got right now people selling everything from fixed wireless to any variety of DSL to cable services to gigabit and even 10 gig fiber.
What about I've been to a lot of our member sites, and sometimes they sell alarm services and all the widgets and gadgets that go with alarms, wireless cameras, that sort of thing. Can you sell that sort of thing on CrowdFiber? Is that an add-on that you can make available as part of the platform?
Yes. In fact, we even have some of our members now. We're selling, I think, basically all the services NRTC sells. So someone can go through the CrowdFiber system. They can order mobile.
Okay.
They can order Tech Shield and support services, right? They can order video solutions. They can order home telephone service. They can order broadband. It's pretty extensive, but they can go through and actually pick from that entire menu.
Oh, cool. So I'm curious. So you're talking to a member. They've said, "Hey, I want to move forward with CrowdFiber. I want to implement CrowdFiber." What's the thing that you find usually surprises our members about CrowdFiber?
That's a great question. At the very beginning, when we first built this product 10 years ago, what surprised them was generally that we couldn't do different things they were asking, right? Whenever you develop a software product at the beginning, it's very easy to think you've got a complete solution.
Sure, check all the boxes.
You've got a solution of one.
Right.
It's all you have.
Sure.
So, after 10 years, the conversation is very different. Right now, it's like, I can't believe you thought of that.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Like, well, that's the School of Hard Knocks. We've done so many of these, right?
Sure.
It covers that. And honestly, what we tend to hear from people these days, which is just tremendous, is we hear that our onboarding processes are some of the best they've ever seen.
Okay.
So they'll say, "Wow, we just can't believe how good the experience was in actually activating with you," which is great to hear.
Okay, so easy onboarding. So now the product is onboarded. I'm assuming CrowdFiber does a lot of that work for the member.
Yep.
Product is onboarded. Who mans that on the member side? Who's responsible for it? Does you have to be a software developer to be able to use CrowdFiber on that end to keep things up to date? What talking about that?
Well, so I kind of joke, but this is true. I mean, we have customers that have 2 people and a dream and a radio, and we've got others that are on the NASDAQ or otherwise $1 billion plus companies.
Okay.
So the user base is pretty different.
Sure.
In one, at the high end, they're consuming our API, and you get on a call with them, and they've got 15 IT professionals that are there and looking at the output of our system. Mm-hmm. On the low end, you've got the business owner and maybe his coworker, and they're getting started and doing things on their own. So we've had everyone from a co-op president to someone in member services be the kind of key focal point for us, right, in implementing the system and using it. And it just kind of varies a little bit depending on the organization. It's not a technical product in terms of a need to have HTML or development experience to be able to use. You can do it great with just being a comfortable computer user, but you can do a lot with the system if you get into some of the details with more technical people.
Is there a way that a customer service rep, or on the electric side, often referred to as member services, can use CrowdFiber to make their jobs easier? I mean, I know it's a kind of a self-serving platform, but is there a way that a human can interact with it and maybe make their jobs easier?
Yes, I mean, for me, the most fun part about working with the CrowdFiber system is the feedback we get from people that are super happy with it, right?
Okay.
So, I remember going to a user conference for OSS BSS partner of ours, and one of our customers came up and she said, and I had never met her before, right? But she said, wow, we are loving using CrowdFiber. And I'm like, really? Yeah, what is it? And I hear different feedback on things. For her, it was the way we put together all the pieces for her internal work.
Okay.
So the way she could see everything just on one or two screens, right? To go look at stuff. I'd never had that before. I had to go to all these different applications and look at these different things. And this is
30 different tabs. Yeah. So it was OSS BSS related. So CrowdFiber integrates with billing and
Yeah, and that's actually one of our biggest focus probably the last 2 years has been integrations. We did a lot originally in kind of a standalone environment because a lot of our customers were coming into this new. We now have customers, I guess, passing almost 30 million addresses across the U.S. Right, it's amazing, right? Well, and either passing them or working to pass, right? So sometimes it's just in the goal setting stage, but it is amazing, and so that means we need to support a lot of integrations.
Okay,
and so that's become a principal focus of ours.
Cool. So you mentioned funding earlier. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of talk about funding, a lot of funding that's been made available to our members, various levels. How does CrowdFiber, or can CrowdFiber help our members in that funding phase? Can CrowdFiber help our members get that funding? Talk about funding in CrowdFiber because it's a big topic right now.
Yeah, I mean, I had a one that was kind of fun personally just earlier this week. So one of the first projects to look at who used CrowdFiber basically to explore initial need, right, was back in, I think, 2017. It was with a group called One Sumter. It's in Sumter County, Georgia, so here in our home state. Yeah. It's the county that Jimmy Carter's from, right? And their group had identified a need to say, hey, we need to find a better way to have better communications right through our county. Another one of our members, actually Pineland Telephone, started partnering with them and figuring out how they could work together and things. And I just saw an announcement saying that project now had received $25 million of funds.
Oh, cool.
So total game changer for that county. It's where Habitat for Humanity has always been based and stuff. So really neat to see, and it's great to just be a very small part of seeing successes like that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about you were part of the early days of CrowdFiber. Recently, CrowdFiber was acquired by NRTC. Talk about what's changed since you've kind of been adopted into the NRTC family. How has that changed CrowdFiber?
Yeah, that's a great question, probably for our team members as much as anyone. I would say. For me, I'm getting to the stage where I'm less stressed, which is
that's cool. Yeah.
So that's a positive. As you
because you're only 27.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. plus 22. Right. But when the business is on your shoulders, right, there's a lot of excitement, but there's also a lot of challenge and a lot of risk.
Yeah. A little bourbon.
Sure. Yeah. and so at any rate, it's been great to become part of cooperative. One of the reasons we thought NRTC was a good fit is because it shares the same attitudes, right, and the same feelings about what we called our customers, now we call our members.
Okay.
So we've always thought that the way you really grow, right, is through making people happy with the service. The irony of telecommunications in the United States is that even though the internet is this huge faceless thing, it's built by people who know each other.
That's right.
And,
that's exactly right.
And trust each other. And so that's always been a big focus, and that's why NRTC felt like a good fit for us.
Okay, so good transition.